So let's just settle into your meditation posture if you haven't already done that. And if you are sitting at a desk, have your feet, both feet flat on the floor in parallel position. Right. And particularly if you are, Michael, would you mind muting? Thank you. Thank you. If you are sitting in in the regular cross-legged position, try and have something underneath your sits bones. So make sure you're sitting on something kind of firm and have your sits bones raised. And particularly if you've got tight hips, this is very helpful and keeps you aligned. So shoulders are aligned with the hips, ears with the shoulders as much as you can. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light and you're stretching from the base all the way up to the crown of the head. So perhaps there's a string in the crown and someone's very gently lengthening that string, putting some space in between your vertebrae, lengthening all the muscles, all the muscles along the spine, the front of the spine, the back of the spine, the side. And very gently tip your head forward. Don't allow it to collapse into your neck. Don't allow the head to collapse. Just very gently putting some length at the back of the neck. And if your eyes were open, they'd be down, looking along the length of the nose. Relax the jaw. Bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks, the mouth, the back of the head, the back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And then check that you haven't sort of slumped. You want to be nice and alert. And just imagine you're lengthening. And bring the mind to the breath. Just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Take a nice deep breath. Let it out. And then notice if there are any sounds in your environment and your mind is wandering off to investigate. So just allow the sounds. Let them be there. As we bring our minds back to the breath. And then just notice what thoughts are arising. Put some space in between those thoughts. And then try not to judge those thoughts. Take a step back. Be objective. Be curious. Interested in what's there, but not criticizing. And just watch the thoughts flow, try not to engage. As we sit on the bank of our river and just watch that river flow on by. While we're on the bank, we're free from the river. And bringing to mind all those people of our life, our friends, very dear friends, people who we have deep and profound relationships with, our loved ones, and then the ones we're not so keen on. Maybe they irritate us, maybe they've really harmed us. And then there's our strangers, many of those in our life. And in terms of thinking about impermanence, we just have to remember that they do change place. They can change place at any time, and maybe they did in your life. Maybe they did this week. So always really, really good to given that things can change any moment, to not take those folks for granted. Make sure there's no, oh God, I wish I had. And then in terms of developing bodhicitta, we start very simply at the beginning with equanimity. So this is trying to see everyone is equal, the same as us. And they're equal in this unbelievable capacity for this enlightened mind. This potential for Buddhahood. We are all the same in that way. We all have it, even though we only think that the ones we love have this kind of special potential. Even the ones we don't like have that too. And then we're all equal in our wish to be happy. Everybody wants happiness and comfort. No one wants to suffer, and we always seem to have problems coming up. So we're all the same in this way. Some people have more happiness than others. Some people have more problems than others. But as we know, our fortunes can change in an instant. So I think we'll do this tonight, this Vajrasattva practice for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So I think there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so we can change that equally by creating positivity instead. So think, sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being today, in this life, and in all past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, just regret all. And the reason we're regretting is we're not beating ourselves up, we're not feeling guilty. It's based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering we will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want it. So logically, we need to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret the anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So we come to the power of reliance. So we start with refuge. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor, who has the methods we can use to purify. So we're not just wanting Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. There's not some kind of higher power that we're just going to be asking to do the work for us. We are going to do the work ourselves. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher, if you have a spiritual teacher, manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's in particular in this, doesn't matter whether your teacher is male or female or any gender. But in this particular instance, Vajrasattva is in this kind of form, male form, radiant and blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And there's this beautiful radiant face. His eyes are shaped like lotus petals and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right, The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So then we have another little section here on compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. And we think of the very beings we have harmed, and then those who have harmed us, and develop compassion for them. And that's just a wish for them to be free from suffering. So think particularly of someone you may have harmed recently or in the past. And then think of someone who's harmed you, particularly for these people, because the harm they've caused you will cause suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. So Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with the body. So next is a purification of the speech. And Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra this time, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown, fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine that all the gossip and the useless speech and the harsh speech and lying, talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel really, really happy. Rejoice. Your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So next is a purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra this time. And it arcs around and into your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and just flick on that switch. That light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So you can imagine just as the light hits your heart chakra, the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So any depression, anxiety, attachment, neediness, anger, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, all of this is instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Ambajasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all our delusions, are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech. And imagine these are totally purified, they're finished. And think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is a purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So you imagine this time that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely, and it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. As we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to this really crucial part, which is where we make a decision to try and refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. So maybe just for a minute, meditate on something that you'd like to work on that you'd like to try refraining from? Just one thing between now and tomorrow. And you know, this determination to try and refrain from things that are harmful is, we have to make a decision, you see. So this is what gives us the strength to change. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind. He melts into white light. So just imagine this white, holy being absorbing into you through the crown of your head, and you can think, my guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. So next, a little bit on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, you can place your mind there a little while. Just think all phenomena are empty. They don't exist from their own side. Perhaps the way things appear to me are not necessarily the way they actually happened, or that the way they exist. We know this from the way the news is presented to us, for example. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And we have a long life prayer for His Holiness, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world. To the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. So this is from His Holiness, Michael. Is this His Holiness's one? Okay, thank you so much. This is a prayer for Rinpoche's swift return. Peerless teacher, the assembly of children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratikya Buddhas, victorious Losang father and sons, together with your lineage, all the objects of a refuge of the infinite lands, please now bestow the virtue and goodness to accomplish this prayer. In holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request. There's another page. Soul gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge while striving exclusively for the welfare of the victorious one's teachings and mother living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. At this I lost hope. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of the mind generation of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a new reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. So for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay. Okay, Elizabeth wants to make a dedication. Jolanta. Okay, I'm so sorry. Ahmad Jamal, the great American jazz pianist who left yesterday, and may they both swiftly obtain a precious human rebirth and meet the Mahayana teachings and find the highway 101 to enlightenment. That's our Californian highway. All right, Elizabeth. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for hosting, Michael, and thanks for your effort in putting that prayer into our list of prayers. I appreciate very much. Lots of love, everyone. I will see you all tomorrow morning. Not all, probably, but some of you.